Good morning from a very rainy Hong Kong. Here I am. I'm in Hong Kong. Yay. I've managed to find a little bit of shelter from the rain. Unfortunately, some of the outdoor activities that I have planned today, they're not going to happen, obvi. But that's okay because it means I can have a shopping day and I hope that you'll come along with me. Now, the first shopping mall that I want to hit is actually on the other side of the harbour. It's over there, if you can even see it through the rain and the mist. I have to decide how I want to get over there. I could take the MTR, which is the underground train that goes under the harbour, but I kind of want to be really touristy and take the Star Ferry, which is a very iconic ferry that goes back and forth across the harbour here in Hong Kong. All right, I'm gonna pop my baseball cap on to try and stop my hair going frizzy. Don't really think that's gonna work, but it will at least hopefully save my fringe. Okay, let's go. This girl has the right idea. Our destination is only a short walk through the rain away. This is the K11 Musea shopping mall, and this isn't just a regular mall, this is a cool mall because it is an art mall, which is very fancy. The first floor had all the designer shops, your Chanel, your Van Cleef, your Loewe, your Paul Mascal. But I wasn't there for Paul. Oh no, I was there for the gold ball. So off I went in search of said gold ball. And oh boy, I was not disappointed. There she is, the gold ball. The bottom floor, when I first came in, seemed to mostly be designer brands like Chanel, Alexander McQueen, etc. The next floor up was kind of like international fashion brands that were still quite expensive. Like we're talking $600+ for a t-shirt. And then this top floor seems to be a bit more streetwear. A bit more street style going on up here, and I must admit I do like this floor the best. It's very cool, and because it's an art mall, a lot of the art installations that they have going up on this top floor feel very like street art, which is cool. Am I street enough for this top level? It is absolutely beautiful here. I think this is the most beautiful shopping mall I've ever been to, ever. And I think it will be the most beautiful shopping mall I will ever go to. It is so pretty. So I'm just gonna potter around here for a bit longer, do some window shopping. It's a little bit of false advertising. Like I would call that a glass ball with some gold accents. But I mean, why are we splitting hairs here? So it's been a few hours since I left the mall. I was walking around filming and then I suddenly got extremely hungry. Like I'm about to eat my left arm off if I don't eat something right now hungry. And there was actually a food court down at the bottom of the mall, but it was so busy and it was just chaos and there was nowhere to sit. And I was like, if I don't get something to eat soon, I'm gonna like collapse in front of Gucci. You know that feeling? About 10 minutes walk away was the best noodles. Very street food style, had to eat on the street. They were bomb. And then I had a strawberry bubble tea. So it's all good. I've caught a new wind. I also had a little look in at the Hong Kong Discovery Centre, which is here in this park, and they actually have the museum within the old army barracks. So that was quite interesting. So that's what I've been up to since I left you. But I am back on the mission to do some shopping. And this next brand that we are going to, this is a brand that I discovered on Farfetch a couple of years ago actually, and have just sort of kept my eye on it. It's over in a shopping center about 5 minutes walk away. You won't believe. So I go down to the basement to where Chocolate, the Hong Kong brand I wanted to go to, is supposed to be located, and in its place is a figurine store. And still outside the front, they'd left like the chocolate block branding, so it said Chocolate all over it, but it was filled with figurines. Liars, liars. And to really make me look like a fool, they have the sign that says Chocolate downstairs in the basement when it's not there. So hopefully the brand still exists and I can find another location, because I kind of, now that I got here, I really wanted to go and see it. Anyway, seeing the robot makes it all worthwhile. I've come to the Star Street area of Wan Chai for my morning coffee. They also have Sun Street and Moon Street. Celestial is so in, you guys. In fact, it's been in since the 1890s when an electric lighting company named these streets. The more you know. I found this cute little area where I can sit and eat my pineapple bun. I actually got two, one for now and one to snack on later. Pineapple buns are very famous Hong Kong bakery good that you can get. They don't actually have pineapple in them. They're just called that because the top kind of looks like pineapple. And it's this sweet bun, and then the top is like a buttery, sugary, crispy, so good. I just ate my own hair as well. A couple of things with the pineapple buns. One is there's a million videos on TikToks about where to find the best pineapple bun in Hong Kong. And believe me, I've watched all of them. But at the end of the day, I couldn't be bothered to go find these elusive, like, best pineapple buns ever. And so I walked past this place called Red City. If they're not the best, I don't mind, because these ones are really, really yummy. And then another thing about these pineapple buns is a lot of the time they are served with a cold slab of butter in the middle, and if they're warm enough, the butter will melt, and apparently that's really yummy. But I've only gotten them to go, so I haven't got it with the butter. But to be honest, they're pretty yummy even without the butter. The next place that I wanted to go to was over in Central, which means taking the Central mid-level escalators, of course. This is actually the longest outdoor escalator system in the world, and I feel like riding these escalators is so nostalgic, but for a place I've never been and a time I've never lived. This building looks rather unassuming from the outside, but inside there is like an entire arts district within its walls. This is the PMQ. It is a mixed-use art and design space within an historic building complex. There were many local boutiques to explore. I quite liked this one called Incense Harbour. Nice little play on Fragrant Harbour there. If you're looking for a locally designed gift or maybe a Hong Kong themed souvenir, then PMQ is the place to go, baby. I was tempted by these cute little doggy cheap hows. How cute are the mahjong tiles? But honestly, Clover has so many clothes. She does not need any more. She's too spoiled. There were all sorts of things going on in this building. It was so cool. There was a board game lab. I poked my head into this one room and they were sort of constructing this toy race car track. And then there was even an Italian library, which was closed. Sad, but it's not like I can read or speak Italian anyway, so it's cool, it's cool. The Pandan iced latte hit the spot. If you haven't tried Pandan before, definitely try it. It's actually my favorite flavor. A lot of people describe Pandan as Asia's version of vanilla, like it's a little bit leafier. Pandan to me tastes a little bit fresher, if that makes sense. I'm not making sense. But if you like vanilla, then you will like Pandan flavor. That coffee was super yummy and love that I got a free upgrade to a large. So I've been milling around the PMQ for a few hours and I'm starting to get hungry. There is quite a famous Cantonese restaurant that is in this central area. It does have a Michelin star and I think it's one of those places that tends to have a lineup. So I'm going to attempt to go there. Let's go and try and see if I can get a table at this restaurant. Leaving the peaceful PMQ and heading back onto the craziness of Hong Kong streets. This is Yatlock in Central. They're pretty famous for their roast goose. And I was right, there was a lineup. So I joined the end of the line, but ended up getting in pretty quickly because I was just by myself. I took my seat with a table of strangers, and that is when the chaotic dining experience began. What's this one?
Okay.
This was the definition of fast food. I didn't even take my backpack off, okay? I knew I was there for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, thank you. Can I ask you to sit here, please? Thank you.
But then here's the thing. As soon as I took my first bite, they actually asked me to move seats mid-chew, which I thought was very funny. These kind of establishments in Hong Kong are known for their, let's just say, lack of customer service. And it's such an experience. I found it quite fun. The dining experience was as chaotic as me trying to film it. And because I was so hungry, I really did eat that extremely quickly. And then I felt like as soon as I was done, they whipped my plate away and were basically like, get out, which is fair enough. And so I go up to pay with my Octopus card and it didn't scan immediately. So she literally grabbed my phone out of my hand and scanned it for me. And it was pretty much like, okay, bye, leave, please. The next day was my last day in Hong Kong, and I was determined to visit this cafe that was near my hotel that I kept seeing from this overpass pedestrian bridge. But the problem was I couldn't actually figure out how to get into the cafe. It was on the second floor of this building, and I did see on one of their neon signs, it said 1A on it. So I decided to be brave and go to the intercom of the building and press 1A. Then when I got into the lift, there was no button to go to level 1. I realized now there was probably 2 lifts, one with odd numbers and one with even numbers. But it was okay, they had a little sign saying just go down the flight of stairs to get to the cafe, which I did, and I made it. Yay, I found it. I found it. This was such a cozy lunch, just chilling and recharging. By this point in my trip, I was pretty tired. I'd been going 0 to 100 every day, which I don't regret, but my under eyes were literally bruised. I was that tired. My little perch by the window was so cozy, just reading my Kindle and watching the rain outside. Honestly, bliss. manicured. They're actually baking them fresh. I'm not gonna eat them right now. I'm gonna wait a little bit. But it's actually kind of nice happenstance that I've come over to Causeway Bay. I wasn't planning to come over here, but there is a store that I want to look at that is literally in the shopping center across the road from Bakehouse. And because I'm here, I may as well just go have a little look. Let's go into High Sand Place. So if we remember my shopping fail from the other day where I tried to find chocolate, which I know is probably just pronounced chocolate, but it's too fun not to say chocolate. I did some Googling and I found out that it was actually part of a larger retail group called IT Brands, and that IT Brands had a shop on the top level of this shopping center in Causeway Bay. When I'm traveling, I'm really interested in seeing what the fashion scene is like in that city, what's in the shops, what are people wearing. So coming to this store was really great for that. It gave me a really good overview because there were lots of brands within this store. So here's what I noticed. First of all, a thrifted Americana vibe, lots of baseball tees and things that looked like you could have picked them up in a vintage store. Lots of graphic, oversized tees for both men and women, and making these oversized tees really interesting with like ties that you could pull to cinch them in, or stitching and embroidery, or even beading on the oversized graphic tees. But the main vibe overall that I was picking up is that hiking core is so in right now in Hong Kong. Earthy tones like forest greens and khaki were being mixed with those fluorescent colors, orange, bright yellow, that you might find for safety reasons on hiking gear. And I thought it was very interesting how this outdoor camping aesthetic was being styled with streetwear. You would have more of a streetwear style graphic tee or even a nice floral blouse, and then over the top would be a utilitarian pair of overalls with that quick dry outdoor material. They were even mixing these materials within the same item of clothing sometimes. As I was browsing around the store, I did find a pair of shorts to try on and thought I may as well pick out a t-shirt to try on with them. These shorts are from a brand called Finger Crocs with a double X, and they're very on trend with the strappy belt and the quick dry cotton fabric. There was this cute little embroidered thing on the side, which at first I thought it was a gorilla, but turns out it's a Bigfoot. The t-shirt was from a brand called Museum with an I, and the whole shtick was using Van Gogh paintings or girl with a parrot earring and making it street style. I didn't actually buy this t-shirt, and now looking back, I so regret it. It's actually really cute. Why didn't I buy it? Actually, I know why, because I put my backpack on and I totally felt like a little Boy Scout. I should have just bought the t-shirt, but I did buy the shorts. I bought the blue pair, and then I also bought a khaki pair, which I'm modeling for you in my hotel room. And that was my time in Hong Kong. My last night ended up being an amber level lightning storm. So I ended up just getting dinner and then going for an undercover walk whilst having my little chocky milk dessert. If you enjoyed today's video, please remember to give it a like and feel free to subscribe to my channel for more videos. See you in the next one. Bye.